coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County over the last 24 hours is 3,269, with 25 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 9 additional cases were reported, with 1 new death. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Lesley Robins. It's Monday, March 21st. LA County is seeing its lowest overall hospitalization since July of last year. Over the weekend, public health officials reported a continued decline in the county's virus metrics, but said they're keeping a close watch on the spread of the BA.2 version of the Omicron variant, which they believe is about 30% more contagious than the original Omicron. They also expect BA.2 to become the dominant strain of the virus soon in LA County. Officials urge Andalinos to continue taking reasonable precautions, especially at the workplace, and consider taking a therapeutic for those who qualify. CVS is now dispensing COVID-19 antiviral prescription medications at a number of South Bay locations, including a few in Torrance. It's a part of the Test to Treat program previously announced by President Joe Biden, which allows people to walk into local pharmacies and clinics to get tested for COVID-19 and receive the antiviral treatment during the same visit at the same location if they're positive for the virus. Besides those oral medications, other therapeutic options are available as well. Anyone with questions can also call the COVID-19 information line at 833-540-0473. Starting April 1st, California's Public Health Department will lift requirements for vaccine verification or proof of negative test for indoor mega events. According to CDPH, mega events are those with more than 1,000 people indoors or 10,000 people outdoors. Vaccine verification or proof of a negative COVID test will be strongly recommended starting next month at indoor mega events and recommended at outdoor mega events. There will be no more capacity limitations at either venues, and physical distancing will not be required. Under the new guidance, those hosting mega events will get to decide whether to implement any of the recommended safety protocols. CPDH officials say the risk of spreading COVID-19 is decreased when all parties are vaccinated. They add that vaccination and negative COVID test results will still remain an important strategy in reducing the transmission of the virus. Well, the BA.2 variant has become the dominant COVID-19 variant around the world. The World Health Organization says the Omicron subvariant now accounts for 75% of coronavirus cases globally, and it is the most transmissible variant they have ever seen. BA.2 has fueled spikes in cases in Australia, China, and much of Europe over the recent weeks. Researchers say the case increases are happening despite reductions in testing in some countries, which means the cases they're seeing are just the tip of the iceberg. BA.2 has yet to become the dominant strain here in the U.S. It currently makes up about 23% of COVID-19 cases nationwide. One recent model estimates that about 73% of Americans had immunity to the Omicron variant because so many people were exposed to it between December and February. That means about 27% of Americans, or 90 million people, are not immune. Those who have not gotten a COVID-19 booster shot and those over the age of 65 are considered to be especially vulnerable. Shanghai Disneyland closed today as China is trying to contain its biggest COVID-19 outbreak since the beginning of the pandemic. The country's most populous city has a population of 24 million. It avoided a city-wide shutdown, but is asking the public to stay home. China's case numbers in this latest surge are low compared to other major countries. The government reported 2,027 new cases on the Chinese mainland on Sunday, up from 1,737 the day before. Shanghai reported 24 new cases today. It suspended access to 2 residential areas and carried out mass testing at dozens of other regions. Authorities are enforcing a zero-tolerance strategy that suspends access to some major cities. Bus service into the city is suspended, and visitors are required to show a negative virus test. Disney officials say Shanghai Disneyland, Disney Town, and Wishing Star Park are closed until further notice. A new study shows that the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine protection remains strong even through the recent Delta surge. Researchers say it was 76% effective overall in preventing COVID-19 infections and 81% effective in preventing COVID-related hospitalizations. The study also showed lasting immunity for at least 6 months after the shots. A separate research analyzing data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows that the J&J vaccine had the lowest breakthrough infection rate of all the vaccines since the week ending on December 25th. In January, during the Omicron peak, breakthrough infections were the highest among those who got the Pfizer vaccine, followed by those who got Moderna. People vaccinated with Johnson & Johnson had the lowest incidence of breakthrough infections. Last December, the CDC changed its vaccine recommendations, preferring Pfizer and Moderna over J&J, but researchers say their latest findings are starting to show that people who got the J&J vaccine may actually have some advantages when it comes to durability. 3 of the country's largest credit reporting agencies are removing billions of dollars of medical debt from consumer credit reports. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion joined together to announce that they will eliminate close to 70% of medical debt from consumer credit reports. They say this decision comes after months of research and is a way to help Americans who faced unexpected medical bills during the pandemic. This announcement follows research from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which shows that Americans had $88 billion in medical debt on consumer credit records as of June 2021. The Bureau says Black, Hispanic, young, and low-income consumers are most likely to be impacted by medical debt, and it's the most common debt collection credit account on credit records. Starting July 1st, paid medical collection debt will no longer be included on consumer credit reports. The 3 companies also said that starting in the first half of 2023, medical collection debt less than $500 will no longer be included on credit reports. Supreme Court confirmation hearings are underway for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is the first Black woman nominated for the nation's highest court. The 51-year-old gave her opening statement today and faces 4 days of high-profile confirmation hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Now, if everything goes smoothly, she would become the 3rd Black justice after Thurgood Marshall and Clarence Thomas. Jackson currently sits on the nation's 2nd most powerful court, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. She will face questions from the committee's 11 Democrats and 11 Republicans over 2 days, starting tomorrow. On Thursday, senators can ask questions of the American Bar Association and other outside witnesses. Jackson is an alumna of Harvard College and Harvard Law School. She also spent 2 years as a federal public defender, marking her as the first nominee with significant criminal defense experience since Marshall. A popular skin moisturizer is being recalled because it may contain harmful bacteria. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is asking consumers to check to see if they have 3 or 10-ounce bottles of Jergens Ultra Healing Moisturizer. The bottles may be contaminated with a bacteria that could cause infections in people with weakened immune systems. The recalled products were manufactured between October 1st through the 18th last year and have a lot code on the back or bottom of the bottle that starts with the letters ZU. Manufacturer Kayo USA is working to remove the products from warehouses and is asking retailers to pull them from their shelves. Consumers with questions can call 1-800-742-8798 for more information. Torrance got the national spotlight over the weekend on travel journalist Peter Greenberg's weekly radio program called Eye on Travel.
Torrance is not new to me because I've been in Southern California since 1971, but spending time in Torrance is new to me. I fly over it, I drive by it. Today I got a chance to turn off the 405 and actually spend some time here.
American journalist and CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg produced his weekly radio show from the Torrance Historical Society Museum. He featured multiple guests from our city, including city historian Janet Payne, Torrance Fire Chief Martin Cerna, and City Cable's Christine Lee. His 3-hour radio program aired at 7 a.m. Saturday, March 19th. You can check it out now at petergreenberg.com. We also premiered our own story featuring Peter on Weekends in Torrance. You can view that story on future episodes of Weekends in Torrance on air, as well as on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Congresswoman Maxine Waters joined Mayor Patrick Fury at City Hall this morning to present 2 checks to the city. Torrance received a total of more than $7 million in funding for storm water basin and transit projects.
I feel good today about being able to present the checks to this city to help manage water and, of course, meet the transit needs. You know, Torrance is ahead of most cities in dealing with transit, and so I'm very pleased that we were able to get additional resources to make sure that these programs that they have initiated actually work.
It's quality of life issues. Everything we do is quality of life, but when you're talking stormwater, that is quality of life, not just for Torrance, but the entire region. When you're talking transportation, public transportation, that's quality of life, not just Torrance, but the entire region. And that's what's so rewarding, that when I see the green buses going around, whether it's in Los Angeles or Long Beach or Torrance, I can appreciate that Congresswoman Waters was a part of that. I was a part of that, and that legacy will continue on.
Torrance Transit will purchase 5 new all-electric buses and construct charging infrastructure with the $6.28 million it received today. And the city's Public Works Department will implement a regional storm water basin project at the Torrance Municipal Airport with the $938,000 it received, which will capture and treat urban stormwater runoff in Torrance and nearby communities to reduce pollutants and improve stormwater management. This is part of Congresswoman Waters' community project funding efforts, for which she secured a total of more than $13 million for 10 projects throughout the state's 43rd district. Well, it was an evening filled with beautiful and uplifting voices at the Armstrong Theater.
This is a great place and a great community to be involved in with the arts, and I'm excited as we all come back and start having the arts alive in live concert halls again. It's wonderful.
Los Cancioneros Master Chorale and the Santa Clarita Master Chorale held a joint concert last night called Lift Every Voice and Sing. Los Cancioneros Master Chorale was established in 1949 and performs a variety of music genres. They've been performing at the Armstrong Theater for nearly 30 years, but at this special concert, they sang songs of peace by Dan Forrest, Elaine Hagenberg, and their very own Alan Petker. The second half of the concert was Brahms' German Requiem. Now, if you missed this concert, they'll be performing again this coming Sunday in Santa Clarita. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community. Pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Relay for Life of Torrance celebrated a special anniversary this Saturday during its 2nd annual Ducky Dash.
Third place, 125. Who's lucky 125, Christy?
We come over here and threw 394 ducks in the water today. This year is our 20th anniversary. So we're all looking for ways to further that mission. And that mission is to save lives, celebrate lives, and to lead the world in the fight against cancer.
Hundreds of little rubber duckies were floating around at the Benstead Plunge as people cheered them on. A total of more than $1,200 was raised through this fundraiser. What a great way to show how Torrance truly cares. Now, if you have a great story, an upcoming event, a photo or video you would like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We would love to hear from you. Well, it's hard to believe, but it's been almost 2 whole years since Torrance Citi CABLE first launched COVID-19 Today. This will be our last week of this daily live news program. Next week, we're preparing a special look back at the pandemic through interviews with key figures from our city. We're grateful for your viewership during these trying times and are excited to return with a new show beginning next month. Well, that is our update for COVID-19 Today. We will see you back here tomorrow as Rhiannon Trutanich brings you the latest. Please be safe, stay healthy, and thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time.